So this is the last part of my intuitive last layer tutorial. What we're going to be looking at is how to permute the edges on the last layer very intuitively without using anything algorithmic at all. Now, the problem with this is going to be that it's not very efficient necessarily, but it will work, and you'll see, it'll be obvious to you why. You'll be able to keep track of what's going on, and it's something that perhaps someone like myself could figure out on their own. So what we're going to be doing, the technique that we're going to do in order to mess with the edges without touching the corners at all, is we're only going to use slice turns like this and upturns like this. And this will make it so that it's very easy to track the edges that we're affecting. We're only going to affect these 6 edges at once. And the corners on the top layer can never get really messed up because slices don't affect the corners. Upturns will just toggle, like permute them around, but you can just do an upturn to fix them. So this will make it pretty straightforward. Now first, I'm going to be showing you how to swap opposite pairs of edges. This is called the H-perm, and it's perhaps the most easy thing to do intuitively. So our goal is going to be to first get 2 edges with their 2 corresponding corner pieces that we need them to be with. So this orange edge needs to be back here with these orange corners, and this red edge needs to be up here. So all we have to do to get this to happen is do a double middle slice and do a double upturn and then do another double middle slice. And all this does is it brings these edges back, and it also happened to swap these 2 edges on the bottom layer, but that will get fixed in a second, and you'll see why. So now if we do an upturn once, we'll now swap these 2 pairs of edges, or these 2 edges, right? That also needed to get swapped. And when we do this, we're going to do the same thing we did the last time, and it'll also swap back these 2 F2L edges. So I'm going to do a double middle slice, double top turn, to get the edge opposite the corner pair, and then do another double middle slice, and now do an up inverse. And that's how you solve the H-perm. Now, the way I'm going to be showing you how to intuitively do the U-perm, where 3 corners are cycled, is by far not the most efficient way. There are more efficient ways. I don't find them as intuitive as this way. You may find them maybe even simpler, I don't know. But this is the way I figured out the first time I was trying to do a U-perm intuitively. It's very long, but it works, and you can see exactly what's going on. So in order to do it, we're going to do the same basic concept we did for the H-perm. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to hold, let's say I'm going to hold the green in the back because it's salt, and I'm going to try to get the red and the orange edges opposite one another. And I need them opposite one another on the same plane, because once they're opposite each other on the same plane, I can bring them down here and then bring the corners in the right place and then do a double middle slice to bring them back up. So instead of keeping on discussing this, I'm going to actually show you how I'm going to do it. So my first step is to get this red out of the way and bring it down here. So I'm going to do double middle slice. And now I can bring this orange across right here. So we have our orange and yellow piece here and our red and yellow piece there. So they're completely opposite each other, not on the same plane, but on the entire cube. Now, how are we going to, without misorienting any of our edges, we need to somehow get this orange edge like opposite the red edge here without misorienting any of our edges. So the problem with that is that we're going to have to use either only double middle slices and then turns, or only we can use single middle slices, and then we want to do only double turns. So because otherwise we might mess with the edges. If you do this and then an upturn, the up faces become your front face, so you're going to misorient some edges. But instead of misorienting edges, which we definitely don't want to do, I'm going to bring this yellow guy up, one like that, and here's our red person there. Now, this is now the front face. The top face is now what used to be the front face. So we don't want to misorient edges, so we can only do double turns of that face. So I'm going to do a double turn, and now you can see that the red and the orange are opposite each other there. And now I'm going to undo that slice I did earlier. And what we've essentially done is we brought the orange guy down here. And now we can get the orange guy to line up with these orange corners by bringing them opposite it, doing a double slice, And now you can see we've got those two in the correct position. Now, right away, it should be obvious that this was not very efficient because we haven't even dealt with these other things yet. But now I'm going to show you how to deal with those. So if I do another middle slice, you'll actually probably recognize the configuration that we have now made the cube arrive at. This is a configuration where the centers are essentially swapped opposite one another. And all we have to do to fix this is slice these two edges out of the way of these two without breaking any of the solve sides, then do a middle slice to just get the center in there, then slice it back down, and then do another slice to fix this little slice. So we've now solved the cube, we've solved the U-perm intuitively. It's not something that's very efficient, like I said, it's certainly not optimal, but it is, in my opinion, the easiest way to do an intuitive U-perm. Now there is one other case where I'll just show it to you real quick, and I'll do it. This case is, I believe, the Z-perm. I don't actually know the name of this. But what happens is two edges that are adjacent are swapped. So these two pairs of adjacent edges, edges are swapped. And to do this, you can either do a double U-perm, which will take you a while, or you can do the same thing I've been doing, where you get the pieces opposite each other in there, and then you go around and you get a silly case like this, and then you have to do slice magic. And that's basically the definition of intuitive last layer, is that you just have to play with it and see what works and what doesn't. And that's truly what you'll be doing when you're solving the last layer edges the way I've just showed you. So anyway, that was my basic description and explanation of how to intuitively solve the last layer. I hope this helped a lot of you who are interested in this. So thanks for watching. CubeHeads 101, subscribe, and goodbye.